All right, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. JOTA. Welcome to this analysis on the Elche Real Madrid. As you know, nice victory from Real Madrid side, nice victory from the Carlo Ancelotti side. Very smart game again. It was once again, it was another difficult game just because Elche was implementing the same strategy Osasuna did the other day against Real Madrid in Santiago Bernabeu, and they got a draw, and Elche was expecting to get the same result or even better, but they couldn't just because Real Madrid was more effective today, and of course, it was because Vinicius Jr. right now is on fire again. He stole the whole show, and in my opinion, he's becoming one of the most, if not the most important player for Real Madrid. And let's see what happens from now to the end of the season, because this guy can, in my opinion, or might grow or skyrocket, because every single performance from Vinicius Jr. is better and better and better. So to me, this guy is just nuts. And today, the victory of today, it is 90% from Vinicius Jr. But I would like to speak about more different aspects from the game, more different stuff. So let's get started talking about the most basic stuff, which is about the starting 11 that Carlo Ancelotti displayed today in Martinez Valero. And it was kind of surprising because nobody was expecting for the Italian coach to line up players like Marcelo or, of course, like Mariano Diaz. That was the biggest surprise, because even with Marcelo Vieira on the field, that was surprising enough, of course, because after the two performances from Ferland Mendy last week, my opinion was he was going to be there with no competition at all. There's no better player than Ferland Mendy right now for the left back of Real Madrid. But Carlo Ancelotti decided today to surprise everybody and to line up to Marcelo Vieira, by the way, a player who performed very decently or good enough today. But the biggest surprise, like I said, it was Mariano Diaz. Mariano Diaz was obviously, until today, it was the third option for the attack of Real Madrid. It was not the player that was supposed to substitute or replace Karim Benzema when he's not on the field. And everybody was expecting for the Italian coach to display Luka Jovic on the field, but I don't know whether the player was not ready to go, he was feeling sick or bad. Something happened, something went wrong, because otherwise Luka Jovic should have been there in the starting 11, because it was Carlo Ancelotti himself who 2 weeks ago declared that Luka Jovic was going to play every time Benzema couldn't make it. So that's why nobody understood. So many Madridistas can't actually understand why Mariano Diaz was today in the starting 11, was the first pick of Carlo Ancelotti for the game against Elche. But anyways, whatever it is, he did a very good job. Mariano Diaz is a player who is a kind of rebel within Real Madrid, because he didn't want to get out from Real Madrid last summer when all the negotiation with Valencia was going very good, and he was going to become a Valencia player, but in the last moment he said no, and he messed everything up. And of course, Rayo Vallecano was also very interested in signing him as well, but in the last moment he said no either. So he just wanted to stay in Madrid for any reason, and this kind of attitude, this kind of behavior, it is something that doesn't really like that much in Madrid, and Florentino Perez, Carlo Ancelotti, and all the stuff. So that's why a lot of Madridistas, we were thinking that Carlo Ancelotti was done with this player. And of course, it was not only the third option, it was actually, in my opinion, even a lower option, because to me, that kind of attitude is like, okay, you don't want to get out? Perfect. You want to play a single minute in this season. But like I said, for any reason we don't probably know, Mariano Diaz played today, and by the way, he did a very good job. But overall, the thing is, tactical-wise, what we saw in the Martinez Valero today, it was pretty much the same kind of game we came across against Osasuna. I mean, the kind of team, Elche in this case, that tried to be well organized during the 90 minutes, trying to keep the tactical order, tactical adjustment, and defensively very solid during the 90 minutes. So Real Madrid can never lock the defense down can unlock the defense or find the gaps or just try to break down the defense. That is the thing. The point with this kind of teams, what they try over and over again when they have to play against Real Madrid is to lock down and get the the defense very solid. So any single player, any single play from Real Madrid, any single attack from Real Madrid can, like I said, unlock the defense or something like that. And of course, create any danger or risks or all the stuff. And then as soon as they have a chance, try to build up super quick counter attacks to score maybe the only single chance that they have. And it was about to happen today. I mean, they were very close to score a couple times, especially in the first 45 minutes. There were a couple big chances for Elche, and they were about to score. Let me tell you, I mean, it was a shoot from Lucas Boyer, I think it was, or maybe Lucas Perez. He shoot on target, and we saw a very great save from Thibaut Courtois, incredible save, and that was the biggest chance for Elche in the first 45 minutes. But Real Madrid, I mean, in the meantime, the players were trying to, dominate the whole game, try to keep the possession of the ball all the time, not taking any single risk, less verticality, playing more sideways all the time, a little bit boring sometimes, but in my opinion, safer than when, for example, Camavinga is in the midfield or even Fede Valverde. I mean, it's a kind of strategy Ancelotti likes when he's not very sure about how to control the game. So the first thing Carlo Ancelotti does every time he feels that might lose control of the game is to display to players like Luka Modric, Toni Kroos or Casemiro, because he knows that these guys are able to control not only the midfield but also the whole game and dominate the game and control the ball and keep everything under control. So for him, it's peace of mind every time these players are there. So that is exactly what we saw. I mean, players controlling exactly the whole game. So although all the trial and attacks from Elche were pretty much nothing, because they knew, Real Madrid players knew that they had everything, under control, and they had a lot of ideas to try to build up as well counterattacks and all the stuff. And that is exactly what happened. I mean, when you have players like Vinicius Jr. in this Real Madrid, what you have to take advantage from, it is when you recover the ball from a rival attack, you have to kick the ball out the way, trying to find the players, in this case like Vinicius Jr., so he can try to score and take advantage from the disorder or the defense of the rival is completely misplaced. All the players are spread out and they can control anything. So you have to take advantage to catch them completely off guard, so you can score and stuff like that. And that is exactly what Real Madrid tried in this game. And it was okay, because the couple goals from Vinicius Jr. were that way. I mean, it was exactly what we were looking for. We were waiting for exactly the right moment, in the right, in the right moment, in the right time to score, and that is what we did. We were very effective today. It was a little bit boring, the game in general, but let me tell you something. It was very important for us to get the 3 points, and not always you are going to perform incredibly good or amazing or mind-blowing, but the most important at the end of the day is to get the 3 points. So that is exactly what we got and what we need, right? And then the goal from Elche, it was another distraction, mistake. I mean, we lost the ball. Casemiro, the rebound, lost the ball, and then Toni Kroos lose it again, and Elche scored the only goal, but it was pretty much at the end of the game, so there was no risk at all of draw or something like that, and Real Madrid the 90% of the time, control the whole game. So it was, I mean, it is not the kind of game you can, you can analyze every single detail, every single aspect, because it was pretty much a very boring game. But the kind of game, if you don't control, you may lose the 3 points or even a couple points because they draw the score or things like that. But to me, today, where there was no risk, and the most important was to see how Vinicius Jr. is skyrocketing, growing up in his career, and getting even better and better and better. So, for example, let me talk to you as well about Rodrigo Goes, because he was injured in the minute 15, and that is pretty much because the player still needs to gain more muscle. He's a very weak player, very talented player though, but in my opinion, when you have to face off defenders, super strong and powerful defenders, what you have to have is a very strong and powerful body as well, so you can clash with them with a lot of guarantee that you are going to win some of the duels and stuff like that. Otherwise, you're done. I mean, if you're weak, if you're shorter, if you're not a very muscular guy, you will miss, the 90% of the duels that you will have to have during the game. So that is the thing. I don't think it's a major injury though. I think it's just something in the hamstring. We still don't know yet, but I don't think it's a big deal. Then he was replaced by Marco Asensio. And again, another, completely flat performance from the Mallorquin player, because number one, he was playing again out of position. He replaced to Rodrigo Goes in the right wing, which is of course not his natural position, so he couldn't perform very, very, very good. He did what he could, but that's a very flat performance. And then as far as, for example, Eden Hazard, he again came on the field in the second half, and again, another very flat and poor performance from the Belgian player. And the rumors that are linking the player to a possible departure in January are growing and getting stronger. And to me, Eden Hazard right now is I'm not going to say he's about to leave Real Madrid, but of course is not closer to stay in Madrid for longer. So let's see what happens. And then Marcelo, well, he did what he could. He performed decently good. He reminded us in a couple chances that he had, with some passes to the air and all the stuff, that he's still a great player. The problem is he was never a great defender, so that's why we need another kind of player like Ferland Mendy, more, stronger, very rocky player, very, powerful player. So that is exactly what we need. And I think that he is aware of that, and he is not going to discuss any decision from Carlo Ancelotti. And I think that he really knows his new role in this Real Madrid, like a secondary role, like the kind of player who has to encourage to the teammates from the bench and stuff like that. But it's of course not the first pick from Carlo Ancelotti for every single for every single starting 11, and that is something we all know that. So he did what he could. It was totally fine. He always tries his best, and there's no problem with that. So the most important for Los Madridistas, we got another 3 points, which is good, which is great, because that allows us to keep moving forward in La Liga. And of course, we still have one game less than Real Sociedad, so that is better, even better for us, because if we get the 3 points against Athletic de Bilbao, of course we are going to be top in the standings and fighting for La Liga. So that is pretty much my analysis on the game. So now let me know your thoughts about that. Just comment in the section below, and of course subscribe to my channel, Real Madrid Hub.